Yo, what is good, everybody? Couple minutes late, but we're in the house, man. What is going on? We got 100 people in the chat. Welcome on in. Philly Take with RB. Run it back, Philly. RB DJ Eastwood. Hope everybody is having a good day. Today, we are back. We are going to be reacting live to Daryl Morey's comments on the Mikey Miss show today. Just a disclaimer, neither of us have heard it yet. So I've been waiting for this all day. I'm super excited. DJ, what's going on, man?
What's good, man? We're not late. Everybody's just early.
There you go.
Yeah, run it back. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. You know the deal.
Hey, at least we showed up, right? Unlike other people.
I'm nervous about this, but I like that it's on the Mike Missanelli show because Mike is just absolutely not afraid to ask people direct questions. You know what I mean? I heard the guy argue with Doc Rivers flat out on the radio. So here we go, man. Let's hear it.
Yeah. And I remember I don't know if you were on YouTube or if that was during the period where you were off, but I'd done a live stream last time. By the way, we are going to take some live callers. Hopefully, we just saw that this interview is 25 minutes. So I mean, I don't know what to expect here, to be honest. 25 minutes is a long time. So
it is a pretty long time.
We are going to see what happens, but yeah, we're going to try to take some caller reactions after. But I did a live stream last time, and it's just crazy how far we've come in a couple months. Like last time we were talking about Daryl Morey, he was sitting here saying, we're willing to wait 4 years for this thing to go on. As I am excited for this, and I want to get your thoughts on this before we start. Like, I'm also kind of nervous, like you said. Like, I really hope, like, first off, let's take it back a step. What is the reason? Because I've been thinking about this long and hard today. Like, this man decides to come on the radio 3 weeks before the trade deadline. 3 weeks. Like, there has to be a purpose. And by the way, I'm sorry if I ignored you on Twitter today. I have not checked Twitter in like 5 hours. I've purposely ignored you. I'm sure DJ's done the same. We tried to stay away at all costs from hearing anything about this. So that was successful. But anyway, what do you think? Like, why is he coming on the radio today?
I didn't think about it like that. And that's a good point. It's a really good point because if he was willing to let this pass the trade deadline, he just wouldn't say anything. He'd be like, nope, I don't like any of the trade offers. I'm just going to chill and we're not doing this. So there's definitely a reason. He probably wants to put it out publicly that he still doesn't think the offers are good enough. He still wants to put it out publicly that Ben Simmons has a bunch of value and everyone should love him and every team should. There's a reason for this. So I just can't see it going past the trade deadline. I think this is just another thing that he's using to try to get as much as he can before the clock hits zero.
I would hope the same. I would hope the same. The only thing I'm nervous about is like, what if he just comes out? And I have a feeling he's going to do this in some part because obviously he can't, just say like this, and that. But like, what if he just comes out and he's like, nah, we're not trading him. We're just going to do our thing. I really hope not, because I feel like we have reversed roles a little bit. Like I used to be the one, all right, push, let's wait. We're going to get a star. Now I'm a little bit worried. We're 3 weeks away. Like if we don't make a trade in 3 weeks, this franchise is going to be in big trouble, in my opinion.
And I could probably guess some of the things that Mike is going to ask him, and I can't wait to hear the answers. I know he's going to tell him, hey, Joel Embiid's playing an MVP level. Do you feel like you have to help him right now? You know what I mean? I know he's going to ask him that. So.
Yeah. I am fired up, man. 200 in the chat. Wherever you guys are watching, man, hit the like button for us. Help push this content around. We know you've been waiting all day, man. Hit the subscribe wherever you're watching. Philly Take with RB, running back Philly. Check out the channels. Give us some thoughts in the chat. We're going to try not to look at it too much for now. But yeah, man, Mike Missanelli, Daryl Morey commenting, I'm guessing about 2-5 trade rumors. So hold up. Let's go. Hold up. We got to add. We got to add.
We got a what?
An ad.
Oh.
Not playing the ad. All right. 25 minutes. I don't know if he's talking about 2-5 for 25 straight minutes, like we may as well write a book. All right, let's go.
Monster win last night. And it was a monster win because of one guy just played out of his mind and exhibited every skill that he has in his sack. And that was Joel Embiid with 50 points.
By the way, can you hear it?
Yeah. Why do you say sack like that? All right, anyway.
Pause.
In 27 minutes, and he showed you a variety. He showed you power. He showed you Dirk. He showed you handling the basketball. He showed you step back.
By the way, we're not going to try to pause it too much, but we will have, I'm sure we'll have to break some of this down. I love how Mikey Miss just started off on Joel Embiid, and then he's just going to jump right into it, you know? It's like, one of the warm-up questions, then he gets right into it.
It's just an amazing performance. And so it's led us today to talk about, or at least bring up a conversation. Can one guy take this team to greater heights than we originally thought? And to get some insight on that and many other things, we are now joined by the president of basketball operations, Philadelphia 76ers, Daryl Morey. Hello, Daryl.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being on. Now, let's first start with the Embiid factor and what he did last night. And you're watching the performance. And so a performance like that wows all of us, but it also triggers some more questions about the future of this season down the line. So first of all, what is your reaction when you're watching that guy do that last night?
I mean, it was mind bending. It's so special, and I loved obviously every minute of it. I'm glad that we had set this up and it happened after that performance, because I think, look, as a Philadelphia 76ers, your fans out there and myself, you just got to realize how we're in a special time, and we all do. Take a step back and just say, this is, we're all seeing greatness, and in a person who's a great person as well. And, it's special. It makes all of us at the Sixers organization who get up every morning and say, look, how can we win a championship? And obviously we'd be winning it for not just Joel, but the city and the fans and everybody. But it feels like an extra responsibility when you have someone playing this great to make sure we do the right things.
And so the urgency to win a championship is there. Now let's try to put this in perspective. The conventional wisdom, and I'm assuming that even inside your building, is that maybe you're just a little short to winning a conference and playing for an NBA title.
Here we go.
Way short.
Here we go. I knew he was going to ask that warm-up question, and then he's just going to dive right into it. How about that? We didn't even get to talk about it. How about that 50 burger last night? Joel is insane, man.
Unbelievable.
Crazy. Get him some help, man. Let's go.
Title. But when you look at how one guy can carry a team, have you looked at it like, you know what? Without a deal, we could still be in this. What is the truth that you guys are going over right now with your team?
If you have more than $10,000,
and of course we get an ad. They probably have like 50 ads on this thing.
Oh yeah,
25 minutes.
I think, look, the best way to get a sense of that is to look at NBA history, and I'm a student of NBA history. I know Doc is even better than me. Elton Brand was a great player as well. And, look, it has happened that someone playing as well as Embiid has won the title. So I do absolutely believe that this team, even without any changes, has a chance. It's not as good a chance as any of us want. Like, we want
when did that happen?
We want to improve both every day in practice, but also in my job in figuring out how to maybe add to the team in a way that it really improves what's happening around Joel and Tobias and our other great players. So,
he had to put Tobias. What's happening around Joel and Tobias? Like, come on, bro, you're not serious. You're trying to trade Tobias as much as you're trying to trade Ben.
I really hope this whole 20 minutes is not just him saying like how great this team is. This team can win right now. Come on, Daryl, please give us some hope, bro. I know you can't just come out and blatantly say it, but come on, man. Come on, man.
Guy said, why don't you have ad blocker in the chat?
Why don't I have an ad blocker? Good question. YouTube Premium, got to get on it.
For sure, we have a chance. I mean, you can literally go to Vegas and bet on it right now, so you can calculate it. It's a real chance. It's not where I like to be. I like to be at least in the top 5 in the league. We're just outside of that. But we absolutely have a chance, and we know how special that is.
All right, let's talk about the other side now too.
Do you think there's a chance like he came on the radio to like just put his foot down again and like try to scare Rich Paul and be like, yeah, we're just gonna stand on our ground pretty much. Like, you better get back here and do something.
If that's what he's trying to do, and Doc Rivers, I think it's stupid because Ben's not playing, man. Ben will literally retire forever and go do something else before he comes back to Philly. So if they're still actually trying to scare him back into playing, it's not going to work.
Yeah. Come on, man. Come on.
Enhance your chances and what you've been trying to do all year long with this whole thing. Is your phone ringing extra these days, and are you using it more as we get closer to the trading deadline? Or is this really an active situation that there's going to be a deal made?
I would say there's a lot of chatter around the league, whether it's a deal with us or between multiple teams. There's a lot of frustrated teams out there. I would put us in the frustrated camp in that, we don't have our whole team. We do have a big, chunk of our pretty constrained salary that we can pay to players not playing. And so that's very frustrating. So I think we're in that. Then there's teams that are frustrated because they're losing or not quite as good as they thought they would be. And that's creating a lot of chatter. So I do think there's going to be a lot of movement around this February deadline. And, if something makes sense for the Sixers, obviously we're going to do that.
Would you say right now that, you got this all figured out, that there's more of a likelihood at the trading deadline that you would make a deal or in the offseason?
Good question.
Well, I think we're just talking like any sort of trade. I do think the odds are that we'll probably, I like any year you have a chance. Last year we made a trade at the deadline that didn't quite work. But, generally, historically, I've personally had a good track record on bringing folks in at the trade deadline. So regardless if it's the sort of the big trade, involving Ben that people are expecting or something we would like to add to this team, it's just.
So he's just going to come out here and be straight with us. Like, I'm trying to actively make a move. Is that it?
Yeah.
Like, is that what you're getting? Like, that's what I'm getting so far.
Yeah, the fact that he even said Ben, okay, you're admitting that we love him and we want him to play. No, you're admitting that you're trading him.
The last time he literally wouldn't even answer any questions. At least he just came right out and literally said his name. That's crazy.
So obviously the Ben deal, takes on more significance. That's the deal. I think what everyone sees what's happening with Joel and how special that is. And all of our reaction, our emotional reaction, including mine, is like, we have got to do whatever we can to help him. And that reaction's correct. But I think it's the initial reaction that means that we should just get the best thing possible in February. I think that leads you to a bad place. It's precisely because Joel is playing so amazing that this deal has to be the one that addresses our needs, addresses our defense, which isn't playoff good enough at this point, addresses our rebounding, which isn't
Agree
playoff
with that.
enough.
Agree with that too.
Our playmaking, as Doc said, very important that we improve that. It's important we improve our transition. We have actually a lot of things we need to improve, and anyone who's watched a lot of NBA basketball throughout history knows that you cannot do that across multiple players. It just doesn't work. They can't all play. And as we add players, it means that really good, solid players like we have, like a Tybal, or as an example, they just play less, or a Maxey plays less. It really is important that the player we add to Joel, if we really want to take our odds from wherever they're at right now to something materially higher, it has to come back in an impact player. If we do it, and 76ers fans should know that better than any. Like, past great players have been traded for multiple players, and it didn't work out very well. The only player that's remembered in the Charles Barkley trade is because they're a head coach in the league or a prominent coach in the league now. If you trade one of these great players for multiple, it does not move your championship odds enough to make a difference. It might take us from where we're at now to a little bit better, but it's very slightly better. And we want to, for Joel, we have to make sure we get this right and that we move ourselves into a higher tier of championship ability to win.
What are you thinking right now? It's a lot to digest, really. Like, I'm surprised he's being this open about it.
No,
But
this is starting to make me think all of those, like, we'll take your whole team and 7 first-round draft picks, that he's actually being serious, because he's comparing this to like James Harden or somebody else, a superstar getting traded for multiple players and it not being as good. Daryl, Ben Simmons is not a superstar. He's not. When is he going to?
the part that got me was when he said, moving 1 for 2 or 3 is not making us better. Like, yeah, it is, Daryl, especially when the 1 isn't even playing. And you just said constrained salary. Like, come on, man.
And he's talking about you have to get an impact player back. You're not getting a superstar. Impact player, I agree, but you're not getting a superstar.
Yeah, he's probably gotten, honestly, like a handful of offers, just said no, thanks.
In the championship, and not just nudge ourselves from having the 7th best chance to maybe the 6th best chance in the league. It just doesn't make sense.
I get, and you've said this all along, that you have to get a star player in return for Ben Simmons. Now, I guess what I'm asking you is the value for that star player. Is it more at the trading deadline in your experience, or would it be in the offseason? And if it's the offseason, how do you then tell your fans that you basically burned a season to wait for a better deal?
We're about to hit an ad. Yo, I just want to make a point about that. I want to get your thoughts for real quick. All this talk, like everybody wanting to wait until the offseason. And chat, let us know. Shout out, we got 350 in here, man.
Swipe a cam, what's up?
Yo, let me know. Like, if we wait until the offseason, like, the value's not going to get any better. Like, I don't understand that ideology about it. Like, the guy's not playing. How is his value just going to, like, we said that 6 months ago, that his value was going to be so great at the deadline, and here we are. Like, I don't understand that methodology.
I think he's thinking that, like, some superstar players are going to be more available in the offseason. That's the main thing. That's what he said at the beginning of this interview tells me that he's not trading Ben Simmons at the trade deadline, because he doesn't think there's good enough players available right now.
I hope he does. Let's see what happens.
Well, first off, it's whenever it comes, right? Because you always have to compare your question, which is a good one, to the alternative. So let's say we don't make a big move at this deadline, which has a very good chance of happening, right? The compare.
Did he just say a very big chance of it happening?
Wait, what? At the trade deadline?
Yeah, hold on. Let me rewind it. I'm making sure I'm catching everything here.
This deadline, which has a very good. So let's say we don't make a big move at this deadline, which has a very good chance of happening. Right?
That's it. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to the bar. I'm out.
I told you I'm getting worried about, and like, I think let's just keep listening, man.
How much whiskey you guys got over there? Because I'm gonna need a lot of it.
It's just crazy because he keeps talking about the fact that we need to do everything in our power to get, like, he's a fan of the game. We always say that. Like, he's not just a GM, he's a actual fan. Like, come on, Daryl, you got to see this, man. Come on.
The comparison is to where we're sitting right now. We are actually sitting on a solid chance to win the championship with how well Joel is playing, how well Doc is coaching, how well the players are playing around him. We have a solid chance. If all the trades at the February deadline only help us in a very marginal way, what we've done is not really help their chance this year. We just feel better about ourselves because there's a couple names that people maybe recognize, and we're like, oh, this is exciting. We got a couple.
He's talking about the Kings, bro.
Dude, I get what he's saying, but it's like, we're at a point now where we said this 5 months ago, like, he's going to have value. Teams are going to be, gauged. We're going to get a star. There's no stars available. You're telling me his value just going to magically pop up in the offseason?
The the way he just said that there's a couple of names that people think sound good. Like he's like,
He
oh,
listens.
Tyrese Halliburton. I don't want that guy. Darren Fox, get out of here. Buddy Hield. I don't want him. Like
Dude,
he's not phased by anyone.
this is crazy, man. Duncan with the $5 super chat. Thank you, my man. Trade Ben, small B. Just do it. I agree.
And he said with how well Doc is coaching and everything, we have a good chance. But 30 seconds ago, he listed all the problems with this team. We have bad transition defense, our benches, and like what?
See, like I was on the same wavelength as him months ago when I thought a star might request out. Hopefully we can pull one, but it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of action. So like there is no way possible that you can let this go past with how Embiid is playing, man. I do, but he thinks we can win the championship. He just said it. So
I see it in the chat though. Maybe he's doing this on the radio publicly just to fleece the Kings,
or
just to be like, I'm not
Paul,
impressed,
or to scare Rich Paul. But who knows, man? That's a good idea too. Honestly, shout out to Duncan. Appreciate you becoming a channel member. Let's go back.
Haven't changed our place, and now we no longer have that ability to get an impact player later. This is literally our way to pair Joel with Tobias and another impact player to give ourselves a real chance to win.
I don't know if I heard that right, but did he just say that like we're trying to get another like I feel like he's just being so open about it now. He's like, yeah, we're trying to get Toby and Joel with another impact player. Like it's just out there now.
Yeah, they're not hiding anymore. They know they're trading Ben Simmons. Like Doc's the only one lying every day. I still hope he comes back in the bottom of my heart.
I mean, this was the same guy though months ago who said he was willing to wait 4 years. Maybe he's getting a little bit impatient, you know. Who knows?
And if we just do a marginal trade that's mostly sideways, because we'll all feel better that there are names playing on the court, that will hurt Joel. That will hurt the 76ers. That will hurt our whole roster in the long run more than if we're patient.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but fans will look at it differently. Fans will go, well, you burned away a season. Maybe the players you could have gotten would have helped you this year. So how can you expect us to...
My point is that our best alternative to doing a trade also burns away the season. If they think we're burning the season away without trading Ben, we are not only burning this season away if we trade Ben for something that makes everyone feel good, we're also burning away all the other future seasons. Because we're burning way more by doing a marginal trade than if we are patient. We have a solid chance this year, and then we also have the ability to win more in the future as well.
All right.
So my point is like,
yeah,
trade or no trade, we're burning away whatever they view as burning away as being burned.
Yeah, I've never heard a GM talk like this before.
He talks like just a regular dude. It's hilarious. Oh, if we traded for something that makes everyone feel good.
This guy thinks he's like 5 steps ahead of us all. Maybe he is, man.
Burned away.
Okay, so you're saying even if you make a less than stellar deal, that's going to hurt you even worse.
Yeah, and the labels like stellar and things like none of that matters to me. None of that matters to anybody. We're not looking for a stellar deal. We are looking for a deal that makes us a championship contender in the top 2 or 3 in the league of winning the title. Those are the teams that win, right?
So go get it, man.
Like if we do a deal that takes us from the 8th best chance to win the championship to 7th, you're looking at like a 0.5% better. And everyone feels better because Ben Simmons, who people, want gone, people will feel better that name is no longer there. But our odds haven't changed much at all. And now we've not only burned away this season, we've burned away our future as well.
We're talking to Daryl Morey, the president.
He's got a point, though. But at the same time, it's like, how is his value going to get better? Like, isn't it only going down? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he does have a point that, if you make a trade that doesn't make you substantially better, then, you're just wasting the season and wasting the opportunity at a better offer in the offseason, which literally he's not trading him at the trade deadline. That's it. That's just all there is to it. He's not, because he doesn't want to pass up a chance on James Harden in the offseason or Dame or Beal or anyone.
That's just a reach, though, at this point. Like, we said that before the season. We said at the deadline, Dame, Beal, Harden, like.
He's not trading him for any of those Kings players. He just flat out said, I don't care about any of those guys. None of those guys are important.
This is frustrating, man. GB with the $10 donation. Thank you, man. All Daryl has ever done as a GM is trade for James Harden, and all he wants to do as Philly's GM is trade for James Harden. Way to think outside the box, Daryl. I don't think that's the only thing he's ever done. But I do agree that he does have an infatuation for James Harden. But my
He
thing
also tried some
would
odd
Harden-
pairings.
Yeah, he has tried that before. I agree. So my question to you then is, why would James Harden want to opt out of what $44 million and then sign with the Sixers? The Nets aren't going to trade James Harden at the deadline. They're at the top of the conference. Like, why would he opt out and come here?
I have no idea. No idea at all. But also what Daryl did in Houston, he was obsessed with big names, and he went from trying to pair Chris Paul and James Harden to pairing Russell Westbrook and James Harden, and he did exactly what he just said in this interview. I'm not bringing a bunch of no names around. I think he's too obsessed with big names when you could put a lot more solid role players around Joel Embiid and have a better chance. If he thinks we have a chance to win now, which
I like you've said before, like I know he wants to win a chip. That's his number one thing. Like he never has. But I also think he has put together some pretty good like teams in terms of role players as well in Houston. Like that team is not far off as well. So I don't know, man. I'm really hoping he has a plan. We got almost 500 in here, guys. Please hit the like, subscribe. I see you guys. Some of you guys are impatient. Look, we can't play everything at one time unless we want to get copyrighted and then booted off the stream. So.
Yeah. And it's DJ Eastwood and RB's reactions to the interview. I mean, exactly. If you want to go listen to the interview, go listen to it.
Links in the bio, man. We're almost halfway through, and this has been a lot of. Even though we're excited, frustrated, like this is still some good stuff. Like we got to break it down, man. It's what we do here on the channel.
Yeah, it's not often you get the president, Daryl Morey in a radio interview. So
3 weeks before the trade deadline, like this is huge, man. Shout out to everybody, though, all the members. Key, what's going on? All right, let's get back to it.
Basketball operations. Daryl, I got to ask you about this because it's out there now. And this rumored deal with Sacramento, there's a lot of names being thrown about. It's not a star caliber player in the deal that you would get back. It's Heel, Halliburton, Barnes, 2 first-round picks, and you'd be giving up Simmons, Harrison, Thibault. Is that the type of deal that makes sense to you?
Hold on, we got to add. Yeah, he really just came out with the trade offer, too, from the article.
Yeah, he straight put it out there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Mike's doing a good job on this. He's doing a real good job. All right, let's see.
So first I have to express some empathy with Philadelphia 76ers fans who are hungry for news. So they have nothing else to do than debate possible deals. And I can just tell you,
How's he gonna insult us like that, man?
We have nothing else to do. You're right. We have nothing else to do because we're watching a wash.
You guys don't have a life. You guys don't have a life. You sit on Instagram making fake trades all day. I'm Daryl Morey.
What are the chances Daryl has a burner account? He has to, right? It would only be right.
We don't have anything to do. What does he do?
He's got to have a burner, man. He has to.
Oh,
Aaron,
definitely. 100%.
The $10 donation. What's up, Aaron? Appreciate it. Says, I get what he's saying, though. If we get role players and we lose, we have no trade assets left. I'm not sure blowing a season of prime Joel is worth the risk. I agree with that 100%. Now, all I'm saying is like, get it through your heads. 2.5 is not coming back to this team. So how is his value going to increase 6 months down the road? Like we can't just then we'll say, oh, the next 6 months, we're going to wait and hope. Like Joel in his prime, man. Like
I'm pretty sure he could have had CJ McCollum and Anthony Simons a while ago. So that it's the other side. Like if you keep passing things up and then you get in the offseason and there's nothing better, now you gave up all these options.
Exactly. And I get like, oh, if he came off a hot stretch and but the last image we have is this man completely folding like a tent and then leaving the team for 6 months. So, I mean, it's just rough, man. Anyway, we shouldn't be wasting our time, man. We're watching MVP in his prime, but we get washed up in news, according to Daryl.
For a fact that these things that are tweeted out, reported out, there's really only one reliable reporter I know about, but we have nothing better to do, I think, and I don't blame them than debate, fake trade rumors and deals, but people get, and it's very frustrating for me, and I'm sure it's frustrating for fans too. I mean, we had a trade debated. It might even be this one.
Why are you even listening to it though? Like,
He probably watches our YouTube channels. I guarantee he searches Sixers on YouTube. You search Sixers on YouTube, me and you are right there. I know he watches us. He's probably like, these idiots think I would take that trade package.
he's talking like a fan. It's hilarious, man. Real quick, Kenny Smith with a $10 donation. Appreciate it. Shout out to all 505 in the chat, man. Wherever you guys are watching, hit that like and subscribe. Kenny the Jet Smith says that Kings deal is just perfect. Why not take it? Those players could be ones moved to get a star. I don't see Simmons getting us a star in return. He's not. You're right, Kenny. And I think DJ would agree with that as well. It's just not happening. And at some point, we're going to have to assess, like, do we just keep on waiting and hope for the best and, cut ties eventually, or what's going to happen? So we got to clear out that space, man.
There's a reason Matisse Thybulle was a part of that rumor. Teams want value.
Do you know how constrained we were this past offseason? Like, our best signing was Furkan Korkmaz and George Niang, and they were a combined $8 million to the cap. We just had no room at all. So,
yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Meanwhile, teams like Washington Wizards added the whole squad.
Yep.
That was tweeted out by Ball Sex Sports. I mean, like, people were treating that like it was a real thing. I think that was yesterday or 2 days ago. So, like, I'm imploring people to not get too attached to Ball Sack Sports.
Bro, oh my God, that's hilarious. Yo, whoever made the Ballsack Sports page, you are a living legend. You just got the president of the team to say Ballsack on the radio, man.
Yo,
that's an unbelievable troll. That is the troll of all trolls. Wow.
Is that like a Sacramento Kings page?
For those that don't know, there's a fake Twitter page called or fake something that puts out sports articles, and it's called Ballsack Sports, and they put out like fake trades that look real, and a bunch of people retweet it, but it says Ballsack Sports at the top.
I think I know what you're talking about. I actually thought that'd be like for like a Sacramento page or something. Like,
no, it's literally a troll Twitter account that'll put out a whole like trade scenario, and it's like breaking news so and so, and people retweet the hell out of it, and then you look at the top and you're like, wait a minute, that can't be real. It says Ballsack Sports.
Daryl definitely has a burner account. There's no doubt in my mind, dude. Like, he
does.
He's got a burner account.
Everybody has one. Every famous person has a burner account.
Shout out to Colangelo, man. All right, let's hear that again. That was
treating that like it was a real thing. I think that was yesterday or 2 days ago. So, like, I'm imploring people to not get too attached to ball sacks for tweets and treat them seriously. I mean, that is what we're dealing with. And look, we've had conversations with pretty much every team in the league about Ben. I can tell you for a fact that nothing's gotten at this point into a range. And generally, they don't get into a range of a possible deal till you get closer to the deadline.
Yeah, I'm just asking you hypothetically whether that would be a deal that would be good enough.
So now you have to tell me what it's completely
Healed Halliburton Barnes.
Tell me your made up deal.
The deal is Healed Halliburton Barnes, 2 first-round picks. You would give up Simmons, Tobias, and Thybulle. Does that make sense to you? I mean,
I can't. I will answer this as best I can. I can't talk about a specific. I can tell you that for sure there are deals with the Sacramento Kings that I think would work. Will those deals ever happen? I have no idea. Are they just straight deals with the Kings? Probably not. Is it multiple teams? Probably. But for sure there are deals that are possible that would go over our line. To your question earlier on Joel, I do think with how great Joel is, our line has moved down a little bit. Like how much, because Joel has lifted us into contention by his sheer will of greatness this year, that does push the number of deals that we would do are more likely, if that makes any sense. It's more likely that we can find ones that get us into that top few contention.
What are you thinking?
Now I'm just thinking he's saying a little bit of everything, so he's not pinned to like one opinion. Because now he's said literally 2 different things, basically. We're not doing it unless it's a high impact player. And now he's like, Joel's great, and there's a deal with the Kings that would make sense that could get us And like that's just what you said you wouldn't do
Yeah.
2 minutes ago.
And he just said now there's more deals that will get us into contention. Like, I think he got caught up in the fandom a little bit too much. And he had to realize, like, yo, I'm on an interview right now. Like,
Wow.
dude, this is
I don't know what to believe.
I can't believe he's being this open. He was about to dive into that, like, yeah, I would take that King straight. But he was like, oh, wait, on the radio.
Watch it's like Daryl Morey fined $50,000 for tampering on the radio or something.
I wouldn't be surprised. Shout out to Carlos, man, with a $5 super chat. Appreciates his RB salute, running back salute. Heard this earlier on Mikey Miz. Morey said a lot, but nothing as far as this trade situation, in my opinion. Well, so far I've heard a lot about it. He's trying to be open in my eyes, but we'll see if he gets more into the specifics of it. But shout out to Carlos, man. All right, let's get back to it.
Because of how great Joel is playing. So we are sitting right now on a better chance of a trade that actually helps Joel and the Sixers and Tobias and our whole team. There's a better chance one happens because of how great Joel is playing.
Why would that be? Why would that be a greater chance because of the way Joel's playing? Why would somebody be willing to give you something that you want only because Joel's playing better?
It's less about them. It's more about us. I'm basically acknowledging your initial question earlier. Look, we absolutely need to get an impact player, but there's an impact player who has to be in the top 30 of the league. Because Joel's playing amazing and has lifted us into probably 5% plus title as just on his play, right? Now we might be able to do it with a top 40 player who's a great fit.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
We might be able to do it with, it opens up possibility, or we could do it where we do a trade.
Talk about De'Aaron Fox.
It helps the team. It's a better fit. And maybe our future opportunities are still open because we get some draft picks as part of it. So it ups our odds enough this year, and we maybe have a draft pick or a young player who could help us into the future who might develop. Like if we got like a player of the caliber of a Maxey coming back, we might be able to say, okay, we got a really solid player who's maybe not in the top 30, but he's a little bit below that, plus a solid young player who over Joel's prime, which we're sitting in, might develop into that. So it opens up more possibilities of deals.
Okay.
He's got to be referencing like something specific here. Like he wouldn't just come up with that off the top of his head.
And he's definitely not going to say, and they take Tobias Harris' contract on top of it. So
like I'm almost like blown away by how open he is right now. Like this is absolutely nuts, dude.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard an NBA GM talk about trading players publicly on the radio.
I'm feeling a little bit better right now. We still got like 9 minutes to go. Duncan with the $2 super chat says, I know, man. It's rough. We got to keep pushing through, though. Got to keep through. 505 in the chats, man, combined. Welcome on in. First time, by the way, if you're just tuning in, first time listening to this. It's been great so far, man.
That makes sense.
All right. Let me go back to the meeting you had with the agent for Ben Simmons, Rich Paul, last week. And by all accounts, nothing really happened in that meeting. So I got to ask you, what was the purpose of the meeting if it wasn't meant to solicit any action? What were you expecting it to do?
Well, I think action comes from dialogue, and that meeting was really about getting the dialogue.
Hold up, we got an ad. And we got a super chat. Shout out to Aaron with the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. Says when he says young player return, he means Halliburton. I mean, yeah, he was referencing like a similar package to what they were saying about the King. So I don't know, man. I don't know. He's got to be. There's no way he just came up with that off the top of his head. He's got to be talking about something.
To a better place, and that's continued. My conversations with Ben Simmons, Rich Paul and his agents, Elton's conversations, our conversations, with, I'm not going to get into specifics, but there's been more conversations with Ben directly. So there's been more conversations. I can tell you for sure that those conversations have not progressed. So you're 100% with that. But as anyone knows who's dealing with a difficult situation like we are, you don't make progress without first having a foundation of dialogue. And that's where we've gotten to. And we need to continue that. And hopefully those get somewhere. We shall see.
The notion is that if he came back and played, it would help you guys foster a trade for him. Is his agent on board with that or not?
It's very hard for me to comment on the specific conversations with Rich. Those were between us, and
Yeah,
it's hard for me to comment. But look, I think people can see all the different places where this could go. The one thing we're in all agreement on is we would like a win-win trade, a trade that helps the 76ers. It's most likely going to help Ben in his mind of what his goals are, and we'd like to accomplish that by the February 10th deadline. If we don't, then I think this foundation of dialogue we've established, we'll see.
He said we would like to get that done by the February 10th trade deadline. Earlier, it's not likely that it happens.
I don't know what to think, man.
Why do we even do
See
this?
if that can help us, work through things if there isn't a trade, which still has a very good, trades are hard to do in this league. It takes two, right? And that's again why I feel the fans' frustration, like, just get a deal done. Well, it takes two sides, right? In this case, it's probably going to take three sides. It's probably going to take multiple teams. And whenever you're involving a big trade with multiple teams, the odds of those deals happening are just low. And so I feel the fans' frustration. Like, they went through so much pain to get Joel Embiid, a great player, to get Tobias Harris, to get Ben Simmons, to get this foundation that gave us a real chance last year, which we sort of blew and should have at least gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals, if not farther. I feel that frustration. I know it. They went through so much to get these players together, and to have one of them say, I'd rather be somewhere else, that sucks. That sucks for everybody. And so, but it's important that we deal with reality and try and maximize from here.
I want to ask you this question.
Dang, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I literally better never hear Doc Rivers say anything about Ben Simmons coming back here, because Daryl's literally saying he doesn't want to be here. It's important for us to get the best deal possible for him.
Yeah, he's pretty much saying, I want this to be over with. I feel the frustration too.
Yeah,
that's
sort of blew. We sort of blew that series. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you said we should have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Exactly. It's about time somebody says it.
Just as because now that you've had all these months to digest this thing, how did this thing with Ben unravel out of control? It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen in 30 years of covering sports in this city.
Good question.
So in looking back, now that you've had months past it, how do you believe it unraveled to this point?
It's very surprising to me and everybody. I think everyone needs to look in the mirror. I know I look at the mirror with myself. What could I have done better? Could I have established a better relationship with Ben? I would say yes. Everyone, I think, needs to look in the mirror and figure out how to do better, because this is not a good situation. We're all responsible on all sides. And I can't really tell you. I mean, you'd probably have to have Ben on himself to have him explain it to you. I can't.
Ben's never ever gonna tell the story.
Oh my gosh, Daryl's hilarious. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
I can't really tell you. It's obviously not something I understand, but it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what Ben thinks. It matters how he's looking at it, and this is how he's looking at it. And all we can do is work through that, work with him, and try to get where we have the best chance to win the championship. But it's very surprising to me. I think, look, if you were to poll all 420 players in the league, I would say 370 of them would be dying to play for Joel Embiid and the 76ers.
Facts.
Yeah, I agree.
How long have we been saying this, man? This whole notion, nobody wants to play alongside Joel. It's a bunch of crap, dude.
It is. We haven't had cap space to sign a free agent in how long?
Right. Who doesn't want to play with the most dominant center in the league? Come on, man. Come on.
And the fact that we have a player who doesn't want to be on the 76ers is surprising to me, and it's frustrating. And I think everyone has to take some responsibility, including myself, of where we're at.
Listen, you've been around a lot of NBA players. As far as the narrative goes, it was triggered the Harden trade. He didn't like that. And then the comments by Doc and Joel Embiid. Is it that simple that he would go off because of that, or are we missing something?
I think there's been various reports of his issues. I can't reveal what he's said to us privately. It's not fair to him, but he does it really matter the reasons? It's frustrating the reasons, but we just need to either correct those reasons, which so far we haven't been able to do, or make a trade. Those are really our two options. And so far I get the fans' frustration that we've not accomplished either. We've neither addressed his concerns, whether people agree with them or not. It's our mutual job with Ben to address those concerns or made a trade. We've done neither. So that's frustrating. I get it.
Is it beyond realism to think that he could ever play for you again?
Got to add. We only got like 2 minutes left. This is something, dude. How are you feeling right now? Like, what do you think about these comments about, like, I feel like he's like, he said his issues, whether people agree with them or not. He's like, we have to address them. Like,
he's being as honest as he can. He's not going to get on the radio and say Ben's a B word. You know what I mean? He's just not going to do that. But he might go home to his wife and be like, this MF and loser is still holding up my franchise. You know what I mean? Like, people are real behind closed doors. He's not going to say anything like that. He's acting like it's everyone's fault. It's not everyone's fault. It's Ben Simmons' fault that Ben Simmons is in this situation. Why didn't it happen to any other players on the floor? Why didn't anyone else get booed and pass up open dunks and quit playing basketball in the history of the game? Yeah, it's Ben Simmons' fault.
I'm glad he sounds frustrated, though, you know, kind of like the fans, because
he just asked him, is it in the realm of possibility of him ever playing for Philly again?
Yeah, we're about to listen to it. Connor with the $2 donation says, I think he wants Fox and Halliburton and some picks. I could see it happening. I do think that he says a win-win trade, right? The Kings are the perfect chance for that, honestly. So I think that's the biggest possibility.
He said if you get a top 30 player or a top 40 player and a young prospect type of player and picks.
Yeah. Interesting.
I 100% believe he could play for us again, and he's literally almost the perfect player we could have to pair with Joel Embiid. People don't understand how much he impacted. I think they are, and I think that's why there's continued big trade interest in him. But it doesn't even take that difficult to look to say our defense goes from the best in the league to average, right? That's a massive part of the game. And Joel and Ben together always put together an elite defense. That is so important for playoff basketball. And he also covered up our rebounding has gone from 10th to near the bottom of the league. Ben Simmons was that the only difference between last year's team and this one is really Ben Simmons. We've had some really nice new players in Niang, and Maxi's taken a big step forward, and Drummond's added a lot. And
he really just said that, didn't he? The only difference is that Ben is not here. Come on, Daryl. Sign it with the stands now, man. We have no replacement. Playing with a hole in the roster. Come on, man. Shout out to Eagles with the $2 donation. Says, just get Fox and get this over with, man. Oh, man.
He's just trying desperately to still boost his trade value. He's a perfect player. He's amazing. He's great. Everyone should love him. Please give us a lot in return for him.
He's danced all around this. I can't believe he's been talking about this for 25 minutes, too.
But the reality is the core of our team's the same, and it has a Ben Simmons hole in it. It really does.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm asking you is, after all this, it can't possibly be realistic to think that we'd put your uniform on again.
I think he can. Obviously, I think you're right. The majority of people think that's not possible. Look, my job is to win the title. My job is to continue to try to make it where, you know, we either make the right trade or we somehow hurdle the issues that Ben has with playing here and get him back here.
All right,
get all the fans out of the building? Like, what?
And it's probably an unfair question that you won't answer. But people want to know, like, by the trading deadline, what kind of percentage do you think, with your instincts in this league, that you can make a deal that will help the Sixers go forward? What percentage? Is it 50-50? Is it 40-60? Is it 60-40? Where are you?
I think it's less likely than likely, but hopefully I'm wrong. Like, look, it won't be from lack of.
Less likely than likely.
Did he say at the trade deadline?
Yeah. What does that mean?
It's less likely than likely. Listen, this entire interview
Does that mean not likely?
This entire interview is Daryl Morey telling teams that already made him offers, listen, Ben Simmons is amazing. You're going to have to give me more if you want him. That's all this interview is. That's why you said there has to be a reason he went on the radio today. That's exactly why. He got actual offers yesterday, then he blamed it on Ball Sack Sports and said it's fake. And now he's on the radio saying, your offers weren't good enough. Ben Simmons is amazing. You got to give me more. That's all this is.
Yeah, but he's so open. He's like, yeah, we're trying to trade this man. Like, where's the leverage at then? You know what I mean? It's like,
I like maybe we can get past the hurdle of whatever it is with his issue of playing here. Like, what? You would have to get rid of the city of Philadelphia. You would have to change. You'd have to move the franchise to a different state.
I got to agree with you. It has to be like a negotiation thing where he's just like, I feel like he really does in his heart believe like he's worth so much, and he's on here like, yeah, well, it's less likely than likely we're going to trade him, so you better up your trade offers.
That's exactly what this is, and he's going to keep doing this until the trade deadline. He might be on ESPN tomorrow.
I can't believe he asked him for a percentage. He said less likely than likely. That doesn't mean not likely, but it doesn't mean likely. Like, that was a clever answer.
I think he's doing a good job, actually. If it happens at the trade deadline and it's something good, I'm going to say this guy did a phenomenal job with this situation, because teams that really want Ben Simmons are sitting here like, damn it. All right, we got to figure out what else we're going to do.
Yeah. Look, the whole time I've been trusting Morey. He's got to get this done, man.
We're trying. We have a whole team of front office. It's all we do. We have no other job that matters. It's all we're working on. And I only say less likely. It won't be because we don't want to do it. It'll be because
wait. What did he say? He just said it again.
We have no other job that matters. It's all we're working on. And I only say less likely. It won't be because we don't want to do it. It'll be because for whatever reason. I mean, I can tell you that these other 29 teams, none of them wake up and say, hey, today, how can I help the 76ers get better? They all wake up worrying about their own team. So, like, the main reason I say less likely than likely is it takes 2 or 3 to tango, and trades are not easy to construct in this league. There's a lot of risk aversion. There's a lot of decision makers that have to be hurdled. It's very complex to put a deal together, and that always makes it less likely than likely to get a deal done.
I'm not buying it. Wow, that was some interview, man. Wow.
Yeah.
That what he just said right there, he cleared up what he was trying to say. When he says less likely than likely, it's I want to trade this man right now.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you need that was a great quote, by the way. You need 2 or 3 to tango. I might put that in my Twitter bio.
Dude, they're gonna overpay for Ben Simmons. They just are.
3-team trade.
They just are.
Dude, he's
gonna play this right to the trade deadline. He's gonna say, nope, not good enough. What's your next offer? Nope, not good enough.
Dude, he's probably in there with 4 sketch pads, just drawing out trade diagrams. Well, if we circuit this package to this team and they give that team, and it's yo.
Yeah, he's got assistants and stuff coming in. He's like, yo, what does the draft picks look like in 2028? What do they got? Whose team?
And you know why? Because we've been right this entire time. The dude doesn't have value for a straight up trade. You got to have 3 to tango, like my man said. So, I mean,
yeah. And there's cities that Ben Simmons is straight up not going to play in. And Boston is one of them.
Yep, exactly. That's why he said there's a lot of decision makers. Aaron with the $5 donation. Now your Seattle 76ers starting point guard number 25, Ben Simmons. Oh, man.
Yeah, you're gonna have to move the franchise for him to play in Philly for the Sixers again.
Dude, that was unbelievable. We got almost 600 people up in here, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. It's almost been an hour. That was actually insane, man. I'm kind of blown away. I did not expect him to talk like that. He went every angle, every direction. There was so many great quotes from that interview. Shout out to Mikey Miss too.
I
Did
agree.
a great job. Great questions.
I agree. I agree. Mike does that, man. I knew he was gonna be good. I remember the Doc interview where he was telling him like Ben has to shoot the ball, and Doc was trying to explain how he doesn't have to shoot the ball, and he was like, "Now you can't be serious here." He was like arguing with him. It was great.
Yeah. So Joel's going to get asked about this now. Everybody else is. I mean, it's clear as day. Like, trade this man. I am praying that this happens, guys. I do not want to bank on James Harden in the summer. Okay. I banked on a star at the deadline. Here we are. Let's get something done, man. I'm telling you, we're not far off, bro. We are not far off.
You just need,
we're there.
You need a supporting cast, man. And it's like, I was watching the Wizards Nets highlights last night, man, and you watch everything they added in the offseason in that Russell Westbrook trade is I mean, that doesn't make them a championship team either, but it took them from the basement to, maybe 5th or 6th seed, maybe even higher if they start playing better together. But like, I mean, you got Dinwiddie, you got Harrell, they added so many players, and it's like that's what I want. I don't think the supporting cast is at the high enough level right now. But you're not. I don't know.
Exactly. And I don't know if you saw the Kings last night. I think they were up 10 points with like a minute and a half to go. They lost to the Pistons. The Kings are just a brutal franchise, man. They got to make something happen.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do. And he's going to let them, he's going to constantly remind them if he has to go on the radio or wherever, you're the one that needs Ben Simmons. You're the one that needs a big change, a big shakeup. Like we need we need improvement, but we don't need to change our entire core because we have the guy that we want. You guys are the ones that need to change everything and get a different energy in there and get at least a player that you could sell as a potential, star player.
Yeah. I've been predicting him to Sacramento for months. Daryl just confirmed that would be the best situation. He said they're trying to get a win-win. I mean, that is the best win-win. So
it is the best. That's the best win-win. And if he can actually convince them to take Tobias Harris, I think the Matisse Thybulle thing probably drew him back. Like, all right, now I'm giving up a lot of talent, and you're not offering me your best guy.
Yeah,
if he's looking at De'Aaron Fox that way.
Called him Thybulle.
A lot of people in the chat are saying Halliburton's better than Fox.
Dude, we got a lot of people in here, man. We need to open up the lines, get a few caller reactions, man.
Let's do it.
Give us some thoughts, man. The number's down below. Shout out to Rob with the $20 donation. We appreciate it, man. Shout out to Rob, just showing some support and love. All the people in the chat, guys, hit that like button, subscribe wherever you're watching. 717-297-6748, man. Call into the show. Give us your thoughts on what you just heard. Maybe you heard it earlier today. You've been pondering, waiting to get something off your chest. Do you think he moves or not? What would you say?
I think Halliburton's a good player, but I think Fox has star potential. I really do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's trying to get a win now player,
We got a caller on the line.
Hey, what's up, DJ? What's up, RB?
Yo.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on the trade. For me, I would only prefer to trade Thybulle if we get De'Aaron Fox in return, because I feel like if we get the rest of their players, it's not enough talent. But if you leave Thybulle out of that deal, I would much rather take Buddy Hield, Tyrese Halliburton, and Harrison Barnes, because I've said this before. I feel like De'Aaron Fox is just another Tyrese Maxey, and if we get Harrison Barnes is a good stretch four, and Tyrese Halliburton, even though I think his shot kind of ugly, he still is a great 3-point shooter, and Buddy Hield isn't afraid to line up and be test out the double team. So I think I'd much rather prefer that, because I looked at De'Aaron Fox's stats, and even though he's gotten better, he's not a very good 3-point shooter. And And even though he's slightly Tyrese, I feel like Tyrese is just as fast. So if I could choose, I would rather take the players over De'Aaron Fox.
I feel you. And I think you said if we could leave Thibault out of that, I think that should tell people how much value Ben Simmons doesn't actually have. That a team is like, all right, we'll give you this and we'll take Toby's contract, but you're going to have to give us Matisse Thybulle also. Because if Ben Simmons was enough, they'd be happy with that.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm starting to think that 2-5 goes to the Kings, and we get something from the Kings in addition to something rerouted from another team. Because I don't know if the Kings have what it takes to make us a winner today, but they have some role players, some picks, right? We get another player from another team. I'm starting to think that actually could happen.
I agree. And here's the thing too. If we get that package, we could also use that package in the future to trade for another superstar if it doesn't work out. So if we do get that deal, it's not like we can't trade for anything else, because we could use that same package to get like a Jaylen Brown, a Bradley Beal, if they ever become available. And I also wanted to say that I love the game Daryl Morey is playing right now. He's playing hardball and he's driving up the price. I think it's just, an act for the business.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the call, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's go to shout out to Kendra with the $5 donation. Says, what about a trade with Indy, Levert and Brogdon, Ben and Toby? What do you think about that? By the way, Brogdon can't get moved. So
it's hard to get a team to take Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris. That's a lot of money, and could be a bad fit. And if it's not a perfect fit, you're not going to take it. And Sabonis on that team, you're not going to take Toby and Ben at $300 million with Sabonis, I don't think.
Yeah, Brogdon can't get moved anyway because of his contract that he signed. So
what's going on, man? Yo. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead. Start over.
I think that Daryl Morey is talking around in circles the entire time on that radio call.
Oh, why is that, Shane?
What?
Shane, where'd you go? Why do you think he's talking in circles? What do you mean?
Basically, he kept saying basically one thing, man, saying I think that we need to get a trade at the trade deadline, but then also saying I don't think it's likely that we're going to get a trade deadline, a trade at the trade deadline, and then going back to we need to get a trade at the trade deadline. He kept going back and forth in circles of what he was saying.
Yeah, I feel you. I think he said a lot of things that I think it was very strategic. It wasn't really just an open, honest interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I do think that if he really believes that Ben Simmons is really putting on a Sixers jersey again, I just think he's delusional. There's no way Ben Simmons is putting a jersey on that says Philadelphia on it.
Nope.
Yeah, I agree. There's no way. He's just saying that, trying to drive up his trade value.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's not happening.
All right, Shane. Thanks for the call, man.
Thanks, Shane.
He didn't even say bye.
Shout out to Duncan with the $2 donation. Says he dances better than Michael Jackson. Talking about Daryl Morey tiptoeing around. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, there's things he can't say. There's things he wants to say to try to, like I said, man. He wants to say, yeah, he did. He wants to say this player's great and he's worth all this stuff. So please give me your best stuff. I mean, that's literally why he went on the radio.
The man with the plan. Got to get it done.
Oh, we got another caller here.
Come on, give us some thoughts and reactions, man. What do you guys think?
You're on Run It Back Philly and RB Philly Take with RB.
What's good, RB? What's good, DJ? Listen, man, Philly fans, we gotta calm down. I think the Kings deal is going down. I think Daryl's trying to drive it up more, and I think that's why we walked the whole circle of this whole thing. I really believe that somewhere in the deal is going to be the Kings. I wouldn't be shocked if Indiana tried to get in the mix a little bit. I think we're going to get something in there. I think the fact that they wanted the tweets is where the bump in the head is. The fact that he got on the one to take Ben and Mr. I call him AKA Westbrook 2.0 Tobias. I think we're gonna get the Kings deal through. I just think he's trying to. I think the whole interview was just about bumping that up so that we can make that a better deal and maybe get Matisse off the market for that and maybe something different in it. But I think the 3-deal trade will be Sacramento and Indiana. I thought he was going for Harden, but after listening to this interview on how he ran so much in circles, I'm thinking the two teams is Indiana and Sacramento.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And now that you say that and I think about it, I think he's going to get De'Aaron Fox because he said a top 40
Correct.
player and some young players and picks. I think it makes sense.
Yep.
Maybe get something rerouted. And I don't know. I have a feeling that could be concrete, man. It's a good take.
You think Fox and Halliburton?
Yes, I think both. I know people is probably saying it's crazy. Why else would you take on? You can't want Fox. You can't keep Fox and you take a Ben and you take a Tobias. It doesn't make any sense. So I think that you give us both and some draft picks. But I think because the Matisse was out there throwing and they probably didn't want it. I wouldn't even be shocked if Sacramento leaked it out there. But they probably don't want Matisse, but we see how great he is for us on defense. So you try to walk it down. Matisse and Maxey, the two guys we're trying to make sure we don't have to give away for the fact that one gives us defense, one gives us a up and coming young talent. Now, do I think he's going to have to make some sacrifices in there? I think so. If it's me, keep Maxey. I'm okay. But listen, you can get Court Miles out of here too. There's a couple guys on this bench we can get out of here if we really need to do it. So I do need him to kind of push it up, but I do think Sacramento and Indiana's going to be in this mix, and I think he's just driving it to be that and getting us worried. 2-5 in a Sixers jersey? No way. 2-5? No way.
No way. I'm interested to see. Like, I would like to see a mock trade that includes Indiana because I'm interested to see like what they would give up and what they would be getting in return.
Agree. I just see them doing a lot of pushing how they're ready to really trade. And he keeps talking about this 3-deal team trade. The only team that makes sense at this point is Indiana in the mix. We already know where 2-5 want to go, LA. So Sacramento that can happen. You got them. But I do think we'll get both of them. It just depends on if we got to give up that Matisse in the mix. And I think he's just trying to walk away from that. So I think that's what the strategy is.
I like it.
Couldn't agree more, man. Thanks for the call.
Appreciate it. You guys keep it up, man.
Thank you,
man. Later.
Yeah, before we get the next caller, I just want to propose something to you. And I know you probably don't agree with me, and that's okay. I don't think Tobias Harris is getting moved. He didn't even mention Tobias, and like you've been saying, like Tobias isn't efficient. We know that he's having a tough year, really bad year, actually. But I just don't even think he's thinking about that. I think he's worried about getting 2-5 out of here ASAP. And he even said Tobias, Joel, and another impact player. I think Tobias is going to have to take a backseat role. Maxey, Curry, elevate a little bit. But I think he's thinking like a top 40 player who instantly becomes our second option. And hopefully Tobias doesn't have to go up against better defenders. What do you think?
I think he's just not mentioning Tobias because it's not like Ben Simmons. The Ben Simmons trade is public knowledge at this point. It's very rare that you have a trade that's going to happen that everybody knows is going to happen and that's so concrete that you can openly talk about it on the radio. So I don't, even if he did try to throw Tobias in a deal, he wouldn't have said it on the radio interview. That would just undermine Tobias Harris, and he doesn't want to do that. But I think he definitely wants to get rid of those contracts, man. The production for the money just doesn't make any sense. And it might just be the fit with Joel Embiid. Tobias being a mid-range power forward that doesn't really stretch the floor that well. You need better fits around Joel, and I don't think Tobias is it. I really don't. I'm not saying not saying he's not good. He could be better in a different situation. And if you can get rid of that money alongside the Ben Simmons money, I think he's going to do that.
I got two things to say to that. Number one, I think, we look at Tobias last year, right? He had maybe the best year of his career. Well, it was the best year of his career because I feel like there was we expected him to be a number 2, even though he wasn't. But there was way more attention on Joel and Ben, right? And Tobias and took that backseat role. So who was really guarding Tobias last year? And now you got a guy like Maxey in the starting lineup. I would just like to see it. You know, I know Tobias is struggling. He's not going to play like he did last year, but I just think now, like we've talked about, like there's just too much pressure on him. He feels like he has to be this dude. But if Tobias can even give us 18, right, as a third or fourth option, I'm not mad at that. He's got to play better defense, of course. But and then the other thing I would just say is like I just don't see Daryl offloading 60 million plus of contracts. I mean, he's saying how hard it is to offload one. Then you got to throw in, and the Kings, they would much rather go for an upside type of player, right? Not Tobias, they know what he is. But that's just my thoughts on it.
I think that's just I don't think he's trying to sell Tobias at all as some kind of player with upside or some kind of player that's going to help your team a whole lot. I think he's like, if you want Ben, you got to take Tobias with. I really think that might be what he's trying to do. It's complicated, but Tobias Harris lived off of Ben Simmons last year, and it's just I really believe that, man. And this year he doesn't have the lanes. He's not catching the ball wide open. He's not catching the ball where Ben just took 3 guys into the lane and kicked it back to him so he can shoot it or pump fake or drive. He gets the ball and it's an ISO situation, and he's not an ISO player. So I think Ben made him look a lot better at the game, period, than he might be.
That's my point. So, like, if we get a De'Aaron Fox in here, like, don't you think there's going to be less spotlight on a guy like Toby, even though he's getting overpaid? We know that, and it would be nice to get rid of that contract. But
yeah, it's a good point, man. Fox isn't a great shooter, but he's an attacker. And Tyrese Maxey, people are saying he's just like Tyrese Maxey. Listen, Tyrese Maxey can be De'Aaron Fox. He's not De'Aaron Fox right now. That's a different level of attack. Just watch De'Aaron Fox play one time. Every single possession down the court, this dude's attacking the rim and drawing in the defense. And I think Maxey has a potential to do what he does, but I think a player like De'Aaron Fox would do more like what Ben Simmons was doing, which is, fly down the court, draw the defense in the middle, kick it out. So I think, but Tobias Harris, man. I don't know. He has to be in the right situation with the right players around him.
yeah, I agree.
Anyway, we had a bunch of callers while we were talking there, so keep calling in. We'll try to get to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Daryl now I'm actually a little more confident that he's going to pull something off. Like you can tell the desire is there. It's not like it was months ago where it was just we're going to wait 4 years, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, I think something's going to happen. I think he's just trying to drive up the price now that I listened to that whole interview. What's going on? You're on Run It Back Philly take with RB.
Hey, RB, you guys. I think the big deal they could do is they can push whoever they get from Sacramento over to Washington and then get Beal. That would be the deal I would try to pull off, and then keep a first-round pick.
I would like that, but
I always look at the other team when I hear a scenario. What would be the reason for Washington to do that?
Well, you get De'Aaron Fox, or you get.
Yo, you still there? He's gone.
He cut off. Yeah, I don't know about the fit with Washington. Like they kind of got some of their role players. They have Dinwiddie. What would be the point of getting rid of Beal if they didn't get really like an impact player? Like I'm not saying De'Aaron Fox is not that, but how is he going to fit alongside Dinwiddie better than Bradley Beal would? Unless you just get off that contract. So
I think Washington would more realistically look at it like adding Ben Simmons in the middle of all of those players would probably be something they might be interested in, especially if Bradley Beal's finally like, yo, I want out of here. But I really think they put a lot of good players on that team, and I don't think Beal's going anywhere anytime soon.
I mean, they got to get value for him. He's on the last year of his contract. He didn't sign the extension, so
that's true. That's true. If he wants out, they're gonna have to. What's going on? You're on the show.
Hey, what's up, RB? What's up, DJ? How you guys doing, man?
Doing good, man.
Hey, I just want to say, just real quick about De'Aaron Fox, man. I don't think that De'Aaron Fox is a player that can really elevate this team. He has his flaws. I don't like his decision making. And if De'Aaron Fox is the guy that's available to us right now, like I don't mind holding out and waiting. I just think he's a little overrated. I'd rather have Halliburton, and let's see what happens from there. But yeah, I'm not too big on Fox, man. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I don't think you need a player that's gonna put the team on his shoulders. You know what I mean? It's Joel Embiid's already doing that. I just think you need players that are gonna help him. But I understand the whole, he's not a great 3-point shooter and Halliburton's a better shooter. So, I see both sides of it. I'd be happy with either guy. If Daryl pulls off both of them somehow.
I actually want I would take Halliburton to have him in kind of like a 1/2 role, kind of like a hybrid, and then I would try to reroute and get either some better role players or another like impact player from another team, because I think the comparisons of Maxey and Fox are honestly valid. And I mean, like they're kind of like the same player, and just having them two in the backcourt, then what do you do with Seth Curry? You know what I mean? I would much rather try to get Halliburton, who has more size, length, athleticism, and can kind of play like the two when you need them to. Because you can't have Maxey or then Fox just sitting off ball all the time. That's how I feel about it. I would much rather try to reroute it to a third team.
I feel you. All right, man. Thanks for the call.
Guess he dipped. But yeah, I think the comparisons are valid, man. Like Fox is a really good young player, but Tyrese Maxey is very similar to him.
Yeah, I just think Fox is a couple years ahead. What's going on? You're on the show. Hello?
Understand. He's shooting 25% from three this year. So a massive drop off from what he was last year. He's looking like he was turning a corner as a shooter last year. But that said, if Sacramento is willing to trade those players, I think there's multiple scenarios where he could be rerouted to another team. I'm thinking like Dallas looks like a pretty good spot for a De'Aaron Fox. Halliburton, like you guys were saying.
Yeah.
He's a 6'5", 6'4" combo guard, plays defense, shoots 40% from three, doesn't need to have the ball in his hands a lot. I think he's just a better fit. We could get really complex and
yeah. I would much rather get more length and size, in my opinion. Not that I don't like Fox, I do, but I would also like to reroute another player or two from another team, just because I feel like we need more depth at the forward position. And I think that needs to be our main focus.
Yeah, it can definitely get very complicated. It can definitely get complicated. You still there? People just say what they want and hang up.
Right.
I mean, that's cool, dude. I'm fine with that.
I like it. Say what you got to say. Get out.
Dallas is interesting. There's a lot of teams that just, have talent and aren't really, are we championship level team. So Dallas is interesting. But I mean, Luka's a 30-some% 3-point shooter. And then you got you got Fox and Luka in the backcourt throwing up bricks. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, there's going to be a weird third team involved, but it's going to really help facilitate the deal.
What's going on? You're on the show.
RB Eastwood, what's going on, guys? Seth M. Rose.
What's up, my man?
Ain't shit, guys. Ain't shit. I promise I ain't going to just call and hang up like everybody else, apparently.
Shout out to he's an OG.
But listen, man, let me just run a couple things by y'all. I'm going to tell y'all right now, the Bull Glenn is on Kobe's balls. Call it whatever you want to call it. Dick riding, ball slapping, whatever you want to call it. He's not letting this dude go nowhere. I don't care what Morey says. I have a strong feeling that Doc's going to want him around.
He's on who?
Tobias.
Oh, okay. Tobias. Why?
My bad. I didn't slip that in there. I don't
you
know.
said
I
Toby.
feel like that,
I agree, though,
yeah,
Seth. Toby's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere.
He's really not, man. And you've been saying it for months now as well, DJ, that who's going to take this guy's contract? I mean, when I seen him and 2-5's contract, I was like, this has to be fake. There's no way a team's going to take both of those. Like,
So I was asking RB the other day. I was like, "Do you think this is like fake? Like, who did this report come from? Because there's no way that the team's taking that."
Yeah,
Let
that's a
alone
lot
both
of
of
cap
them.
space. That's taking
I mean,
a
I
lot
would
of
love
cap
it.
space.
Yeah.
It is. It is. So my thoughts are, and I want to run this by y'all. Would you be willing to get like Halliburton? Because I think he'd be great next to Maxey with Embiid, and like a Buddy Buckets to come in, because we really need somebody that's just a willing shooter to just step up and shoot and take contested shots. And maybe a first round pick, who knows? Or maybe we'll have to throw a guy in there. But you think that's close to realistic?
I'm gonna let DJ go. Then I have some thoughts on it.
I don't think it's realistic for Daryl Morey to take that. No, because just from hearing him on what he was saying in that interview, does Halliburton and Buddy Hield make you a championship contender on this team? You know, are they that good that they push you that far?
Yeah. In my opinion, I don't understand why everybody keeps getting off. And I'm not saying you, Seth. I'm saying in general, like the consensus, everybody keeps getting off the idea like we're just forgetting about forwards just because Jaylen Brown's not available or Bradley. Like we have been playing with Danny Green at the forward. Like we can't keep doing that. And we have a guy like Seth Curry, who in my opinion is one of the most underrated players. We can't just get 3 guards back in a trade. As much as I'm glad that we have guards now that can handle the ball, even if it's Harrison Barnes, I'm not too big on Harrison Barnes in terms of being like a guy who's going to really take us to another level. But we need some forwards, man. That's just how I feel. Toby's struggling, right? Niang's been one of our most consistent. We need some size and length on this team. That's just how I feel about it, man.
Yeah, you need forwards. They got to be stretch fours. They have to be. Go ahead, Seth.
100%. And I thought that was funny that you brought that up, because I didn't think it'd be realistic for 3 guys for Ben, you know what I mean? But if we could get Harrison Barnes with them 2 guys, and again, I'm not saying I don't like DeAndre Fox. I really am agreeing with RB on this, that his talent's kind of equal to Maxey's, and Maxey will be, I should say, one day. So if we were to get Harrison Barnes, I really think that he could take up more on the defensive end than Toby does, and probably put up more points, if not the same as Toby. So is that like a win if we get him as well? I think that that's really the best fit we could get, to be honest, unless there's other trades you guys heard about.
See, I'm going to agree with you. I don't know if RB is, but I'm going to agree with you. And he's better at playing off ball than Tobias is. He's played with some of the best players to ever play the game, and he was a 3rd or a 4th option, and he's good at playing off ball and catching the ball in the corner, and not, like you don't see a whole lot of Harrison Barnes ISOs. He knows what his role is.
Seth, are you saying that we would get Harrison Barnes and then in return give up Tobias Harris, or keep Tobias as well?
See, this is where I think a 3rd team's got to be involved, because I would like to move Tobias to another team, possibly with a pick or something, and then somehow receive Harrison Barnes, and then whatever that other team would give Sacramento as well. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know if I would do it. I really don't, because then I feel like we're lacking at the 4. Even though Tobias has been a negative so far, unless you want to plug Niang in there, I don't know if he's ready for that, or unless we get somebody else, like you said, but it gets really tricky. But I do agree Harrison Barnes had a good year, and I think he could play a good role in this team. We need a forward. We really do. That's what it takes. It's going to be a huge deal, though.
I think you can plug Niang in there. I think you can. I don't think
As a starter, though?
I don't think all 5 players on a starting roster have to be fringe all-stars. I mean, there's a lot of championship teams that the 5th guy is like, oh, and then there's this guy, like George Niang.
I think what happens with the bench then? We need a bench scorer.
Well, listen, you get rid of both of those guys, you got a whole lot of money to spend.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair.
Very true. Just real quick, imagine a lineup of Buddy Buckets, George Niang, Harrison Barnes, JoJo, and possibly Halliburton, let's say. That sounds like a pretty damn good lineup to me.
I think it's better than the lineup we have right now. I agree.
I think overall it is. I don't know. I don't see Daryl Morey pulling both of those trades. That's just me, though. That's just me.
All right, Seth, I'm going to get to another caller, man.
Thanks for having me on, boys. Yeah, take it easy, dudes.
All right, bro.
Daryl better
What's
acquire
going on? You're on the show.
stores too, man.
Hello. They hung up. Oh, we got another one. What's going on? You're on the show. We got to get a professional
We really
thing
do.
here.
Shout
What's
out to all-
going on? You're on the show. Yo.
Yo, what's up, Eastwood? What's up, RB?
What's up, man?
RB, why you say that about Danny Green? He is consistent. He give us triple singles every night.
Yeah.
Most consistent player there is.
I like when people throw him in trade packages, bro. No, nobody's moving right or
I
left
wouldn't even
for
trade
Danny
him
Green.
for I would trade him for a bag of chips.
He's not worth it. Right now.
He's probably gonna get bought out. Honestly.
He got negative value. Like, it's bad.
Yeah, he's gonna be one of the players that just gets waived. Here's your money. Well, we're better off without you and just giving you your whatever's left, $6 million or something.
Denny's horrible. The podcast is horrible. Everything in that situation.
Anyway, what's up, man?
On the man.
But on so I think the Kings is the best option that we got. I think the Kings are gonna try to pull some slick stuff and try to throw in Bagley because I think he's on the last year of his deal. I was having a conversation with somebody at work and I was like, I bet you they try to pull slick stuff. The Sixers want Tobias out of here. They're gonna throw us Bagley. I don't think they're gonna try to give us Harrison Barnes. What do you think about that? Package of Burton.
I don't want anything to do with Marvin Bagley.
I don't either.
I think the Kings would do something as stupid as possible because they're the Kings.
I'll tell you, man, as dumb as the Kings have been, I mean, they gave us like 3 pick swaps for Nick Stauskas. You know what I mean? Or was it the other way around? I don't remember. But they gave us Nick Stauskas and pick swaps for what? I don't remember. We fleeced the hell out of them for a long time. If they take Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, that's the ultimate Kings move.
They're not
paying $360 million for 2 players that basically are not all-star level players.
They're not doing it.
I don't know. The Kings GM, he seemed like a smart guy. I was watching one of his interviews. I don't know though. I mean, because the Kings want Kings, but I don't know. I just want this deal to be done. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of talking about it every day.
Same.
Ridiculous.
Yep.
Same. Imagine when we actually have a roster that we know is like going towards the future and we can just talk about the team and what we think and how much they can achieve instead of like, well, we're talking about the team, but we know we got to trade Ben Simmons for this to matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and ridiculous. But y'all have a good night.
All right, man. Thank you.
Shout out to all the people in the chat, man. Great takes in there. Shout out to Katie. Shout out to Chin. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Kings fan up in here. Key Kings says inside sources, Kings are not willing to take Tobias. It's not happening, bro. It's not happening.
Inside sources.
If the Kings took 6, think about the Kings drafting all those young, talented guards, and then they take $60 million on of 2-5 and Tobias. They would have to probably relocate their franchise. They really would. I mean, no people go to the games already. So now you're paying those contracts. Come on, man.
The Nets just agreed to trade Paul Millsap. I didn't even know he still played basketball. Paul Millsap is on the Nets.
Where do you get traded to?
No, they just agreed. They agreed to find him a new team. So they put him on the trade block, basically. Paul Millsap. I don't know if that matters at all. The Nets just have every old player that like used to be good. Like, are you kidding me? Blake Griffin. I mean, I guess they don't have DeAndre Jordan anymore, but Paul Millsap, LaMarcus Aldridge, even though he put up like 27 points last night.
Paul Millsap has only played in 2 of the Nets' last 17 games. Wow. After choosing to come to the Nets. That's crazy.
Well, is he always injured? Why doesn't he retire? What do you mean find a new team? You can't even get on the court.
Yeah, that's crazy. Where he wants to contribute more. Okay, Paul.
He's 36, and he's played 2 of the last 17 games, man. It's time to hang it up.
Dude, I'm telling you, this Sixers team can go far in the playoffs this year. There is not a team that really scares me that much, to be honest. I mean,
somebody said Paul Millsap to Philly. He's 36.
He's not coming here.
We don't want him.
Dude, the Nets, I mean, they have their ups and downs. The Heat, we beat them without, some of our guys. And then, I mean, look at who else is there, right? The Bulls have been constantly in and out. The Bucks. I mean, I don't know, man. But
yeah, you gotta. It has to be something that makes you feel like you can compete in the East. That you can compete with the top teams in the East. And right now, we can look however we want to look against the Orlando Magic, and we can look however we want to look against whoever else. Every time we play a team that's a legitimate Eastern Conference contender that has athleticism, they run a zone defense. We're not fast enough. We're not quick enough. We're not athletic enough, and we get beat up.
Yep.
And that's what's going to happen in the playoffs.
Yeah. Joel's got to be great. Just tweaking said, answer my call. We'll take one more, man. We'll take one more. Shout out to everybody. Still got 500 in the chat, man. Hit the like button where you guys are watching.
He said everybody at me to get my call answered. I can't choose people. I just hit the green button when it rings, man. Go ahead, call.
You better have something good for us, man, to end it off. By the way, we'll definitely be collabing the next couple weeks as long as DJ's free and I'm free. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. I'm sure the rumors are going to heat up, man.
They are definitely the rumors are going to heat up. And
do we stream the trade deadline again, though?
I'm doing it.
I'm
doing it. I don't know. I thought it was fun. We sat here for like 4 hours.
It was fun, man. It definitely was.
Even though nothing happened.
Even though we almost lost our minds,
Oh, man. All right. I don't think he's calling in, man. I don't know.
Come on, man. You're tweaking.
You're tweaking. We need Brandon Ingram, Michael Miller says. Listen,
Jaylen Brown.
I would take Brandon Ingram in a heartbeat. But, like Daryl Morey said, it takes 2 teams. I mean, what are we giving the Pelicans that's going to make them give us Brandon Ingram?
What are the Pelicans even doing? They're another franchise like that. It just doesn't make sense.
Absolute disarray because Zion Williamson can't get healthy enough to get back on the court.
He's not playing for the Pelicans. It's not happening.
Crazy.
Jay adds,
how sad is it?
Yeah, it is sad. I don't think he's ever playing for them again.
And for them to watch Ja Morant at an MVP level in his second season.
Crazy, dude. Crazy. Jay Abs with the $5 donation says, what up, RB? Didn't know you were streamed today. What was the topic? Well, we listened to the entire Morey press conference, so definitely hit it on the rewatch. Like, it was some good stuff, man. Now we're just taking calls, hanging out with the people.
Yeah, we listened and reacted. We listened and reacted to the Daryl Morey interview, man. So definitely watch this back. Because if you haven't heard the interview, especially, but I feel like we had some interesting reactions to things that he was saying.
Oh, yeah. Definitely some things took us by storm, no doubt. You guys
Ja is in his 3rd season. Yeah, I can't keep up, man. I don't even know what year it is.
Ja's a dog, man. He's great. Just tweaking said answer so I need to speak my piece. You got to call into the show, man.
Yeah, I'm sitting here, man. Phone line's open. Dial the number. 717-297-6748, man.
Jimmy J, how's those Celtics working out for you, man? Jimmy J, long time supporter of the channel, man. You got to be up in flames right now, man.
You got to respect Jimmy J, man. You got to respect him. He just comes back in here, just still tries to antagonize the Sixers fans. But when your team is as down bad as the Boston Celtics, there's really nothing left for Jimmy J to say.
There's nothing. There's nothing.
Man, it's fun. It's fun, man. As bad as the Sixers can be, the Celtics are awful.
Trash.
And now they're praying. They're praying that they don't break up. I have a good friend it's a Celtics fan and a Patriots fan, and they're not trading Jaylen Brown, man. They're not breaking up Tatum and Brown. I'm like, they have to, bro. What do you mean? I think they have to.
Yeah, I think everybody's trying to call in, and everybody's saying to answer the phone.
All right, let me restart the app real quick because I wasn't getting any calls.
My man put them on Do Not Disturb. I'm calling. It's my 15th time. You better have something good for us, bro.
Oh, there we go. Maybe I had to close the app and open it again. All right, we got some calls, man. Sorry. What's going on? You're on the show.
Hey, bro. It's Ethan here. What's good, y'all?
What's up, man?
What's up?
You hear me good, bro?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Well, I say we trade. We get De'Aaron Fox. I feel like Daryl is holding up this trade because he's asking for too much, and we don't need too much. All we need is De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes, and Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley to come off the bench. So we're going to trade him for Tobias and Simmons. So we have a starting lineup of De'Aaron Fox, Curry, Danny Green, Harrison Barnes, and Embiid. And off the bench, we'll have Maxey, Milton, Thibault, Niang, and Drummond. I kind of want to start Bagley at center because Drummond be lazy sometimes. But I
You
think
mean
that's
as center
good.
off the bench?
Yeah, center off the bench.
Okay.
I just think,
Like Daryl Morey said, that looks better, marginally better than what we look like on paper right now. But does that beat the Bucks and the Bulls and the Heat?
Heck no. Heck no. Danny Green and Harrison Barnes? Harrison at the 4?
Danny Green is just
Oh,
a spot-up shooter, and Harrison Barnes is like he's just a little bit worse than Tobias, just a little bit. But
so we're
he's
getting
not
worse.
he's not as mentally fragile as Tobias. Tobias, the fans are getting in his head, and he's just playing worse and worse. Harrison Barnes is more stable, like just mentally stronger. Like we'll be straight. Fox is a great point guard. Like he's just on a bad team where he has to share the ball with Halliburton. Then he has Mitchell coming in running point guard at the end of the game to play defense. So he's just out his normal rhythm. That's why he's having a down season.
I agree with
We
that,
just need him.
I don't think Marvin Bagley gives you much more than.
I mean, he's just a piece. He's just a little piece. We could develop him. He's just coming off the bench. He's probably not going to even play, but we could just develop him. We need athleticism. We can't rebound. I mean, Harrison Barnes is a better rebounder than Tobias Harris. So we just need athleticism. Bagley will just give us more athleticism. Korkmaz doesn't fit no more. If we could trade him for somebody else or throw him in, he just doesn't fit no more. Like without Simmons setting him up, he just chucks up threes. He can't really get a shot. We got him playing point guard now, and it's just hell no.
I think, listen, it doesn't really matter what trade we would make. We need to think about, would Daryl Morey make that trade? And he's not doing that. He already basically said he's not doing that. They got to offer more. You kind of said less than they reportedly offered.
I think because Daryl is asking for Halliburton, which is a good defender. So the Kings are thinking, if you take Halliburton, then you got to give us Thibault. That's what's messing it up. But I don't think we should get Halliburton because we have to wait for him to really become something. Fox is already there already. So because we need to win now, we can't wait for Halliburton to really get elite. We need Fox right now.
Fox is not elite.
I mean, he's a second guy. I watched Fox beat Paul George and Kawhi Leonard last year. Like, destroyed them. They could not guard him. Like, he's like that. He's good enough. And then he's gonna be on the East. He's not going to be on the West, and he's a second guy now.
Either way, I don't think Daryl Morey's doing it unless he gets Fox and Halliburton. So it's just kind of.
But you don't think that's too much? That's asking for too much.
That's what he's doing. He's driving up Ben Simmons' value, and the way that he said, players that make people happy or something like that. Basically said, like, you're offering us a bunch of players that don't matter. No, like he was downplaying their players and building his player up, and he's just trying to get more out of the Kings. But I don't think he's taking it without Fox and Halliburton.
But Fox and Halliburton wasn't on what was reported. It was Halliburton, Barnes.
Yeah, and he said no. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Halliburton Fox wasn't a part of that.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
It was only because Thibault was in it. I feel like he said no. He said, no, we're not losing Simmons, Harris, and Thibault. Like, come on.
Yeah,
he wants to keep Thibault.
You might be right.
So I'm saying, like, if he would have we don't even need what's the shooter name? Hield. We don't need Buddy Hield. We don't. You think so?
No, I'm not saying we need Buddy
I
Hield.
don't think anybody raises the bar from that team, honestly.
Yeah.
And De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Maxey is just kind of a weird fit. I like Fox. But
Maxey's coming off the bench. RD, you love Maxey too much. He's not there
too
yet,
much.
bro.
You want Danny Green in the starting lineup. Come on, man.
He's a spot up shooter. He's just a spot up shooter, bro.
At the
He's
3,
in the
you
corner.
want Danny Green and
Look,
Tyrese Maxey on the bench. Next caller, please.
you said Danny Green on the bench? No, I don't
You
want him on the
want
bench.
Danny Green in the starting lineup. I knew as soon as you said that this trade was not happening. This trade could not happen.
But Danny Green?
We might as well start the process over.
All right,
You
brother.
really
Hey, we
that down on
appreciate the
Danny
call, man.
Green?
I'm not trying to cut you off, but we gotta get to some other callers. But
I don't
hey,
think he
we're
could be a
all entitled to our
I can't
opinions,
wait
man.
till Ben Simmons get traded and he dunks on Joel Embiid. This is all Joel Embiid.
I'm not even letting him
This is
get
too
that.
outdated.
I'm not even letting
Hold
him
up,
get that
before we
sentence
get
off.
to the next
I'm not even letting him get that sentence
I
off.
kind of just like soiled, like he was obviously a 2-5 stand.
Bro, we were trying to be nice to you. And you're
I
gonna end the
wasn't.
call by saying some nonsense like that. I hope Ben dunks on Joel, and this is Joel Embiid's fault. You just
Well, that's-
wasted 6 minutes of my life. You could have just said you were a fraud the first 5 seconds, and I would have hung up on you. Get the hell out of here.
You left them on too long. Jay adds with the $2 donation says, bro, they're trying to trade Al Horford now. Yeah, the Celtics stink. Shout out to Heat Checks with Vic for becoming a member. Yeah, I don't know what I just heard, bro, but Danny Green and Harrison Barnes in the starting lineup, we may as well just become the Kings at that point. I mean, what are we thinking?
With the call thing, like I try not to be rude and cut people off, but some people want to talk for 2 hours. Like, bro,
Dude,
obviously I gotta get to other people.
Off, yeah. I mean, that was something. And then he was a 2-5 stand. Like that was the icing on the cake, man.
And De'Aaron Fox is elite, and Tyrese Maxey is no good and should be coming off the bench.
We don't need Tyrese Halliburton, but let's keep Danny Green in the starting lineup. Wow. I'm too high on Maxey, but Danny Green is a superstar.
Anyway, let's take another call, man. Ben Simmons dunk on Embiid. How many posters does he have in his career? I think like 2. He shies away from contact every chance he gets. Not dunking on Embiid. Anyway,
this caller has to be good.
You're on the show, man. What's up?
Hey, what's up? It's Vic. I'm a longtime fan of RB, and I'm actually not a Sixers fan. Just putting that out there. So take my opinion with a grain of salt.
That's good, man.
Well, some of the opinion.
Out to Vic.
Thanks, bro. Yeah. So just have a quick question. I don't know if you guys talked about. I just came out of work, so I'm coming in related. You guys already touched the safe. But what would you say is like the plan B, hypothetically, if Ben doesn't get moved at the trade deadline?
Well, the plan B, I guess, is to what everybody thinks, try to somehow boost him up in the offseason, but I just don't even see that happening. In my eyes, there is no plan B, honestly. But I think Morey wants to if he doesn't move him, I think he's going to try to move him in the offseason and do everything he can to just spike up the rumors out of nowhere. But it's just going to be hard, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good, that's something that's been talked about. But, I mean, just thinking in my perspective, why not just treat Ben Simmons as not necessarily okay, so plan A is to get Ben Simmons as, for a superstar, right? That's what a lot of Sixers fans would want. But for me, kind of looking another way, why not just treat the whole Ben Simmons trade as a salary dump? This is a fucking, sorry, I'll swear. I'm not sure if you want to put this. This is a freaking guy that, doesn't bring the hustle and refuses to shoot the ball and even make free throws and bring in the playoffs, right? So why not just salary dump and try to bring in not necessarily role players, but I don't know, because I guess to bring in my perspective, I'm a Heat fan. One player that has the highest potential to be traded is Duncan Robinson, and I think he has a lot of potential to help you guys stretch the floor. And I'm not saying, again, to Miami wants Ben Simmons. Maybe do a 3-team trade and then bring in Duncan into Philly and having him be a floor stretcher spread the offense for Embiid and maybe Maxey. I mean, what do you guys think about something like that?
I think Duncan Robinson isn't even in the starting lineup for the Miami Heat. And I mean, that's just, if we're talking about players not moving the needle, good shooter, but you can find just good shooters all over the place.
I think Jimmy Butler would request a trade if 2-5 ended up in Miami.
That's true too. Yeah.
I would 100% agree with you.
Yeah, Ben's not. There's no way.
But
yeah, he was not fit. Team culture. I agree.
Ben would love to be in Miami. By the way, he would love it. He would be the man on
He'd
South
love
Street.
the women. He'd love from South Beach. Yeah, totally. No, but Pat Riley would just hang up the phone if Morey called like, "Hey, you want Ben?" Pat would just hang up the phone as soon as he heard Ben and just hang up the phone like.
Yeah, he ain't taking that, man. Hey, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Vic.
Yeah, you guys have a good night. Bye.
Later.
Too, man. Kendra, the $5 donation says, I don't think we need an A+ player. We need a B like Middleton. Let Joel be the superstar and put shooters beside him. I agree with that. I think that could work with how great Joel is. I agree.
That's what I mean. You don't need a superstar. You need a Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
Is Chris Middleton an all-star without Giannis? You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
like, Joel Embiid could make a fringe all-star player look like an all-star because he's going to command that attention. You just need a guy on that caliber.
I mean, I would like
it's not Duncan Robinson, though.
No, it's not. I would like a superstar. I just don't see one being available, So I'm fine with going that route for sure. Shout out to Matt.
I like an outside perspective, but to just salary dump Ben Simmons, that doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah, we're trying to win now, so that's just not really an option. Magic Tricks with the $5 donation says, welcome back, DJ. We missed you. Sixers, Sabonis, Halliburton, Barnes, healed. Pacers 2-5, Bagley, Green, Tristan Thompson. Kings, Turner, LeVert, and Tobias.
Wait, the Pacers make a trade and get Bagley, Green, and Tristan Thompson in return, bro? Come on, man.
Wait, but 2-5 too.
Oh, I missed 2-5. Okay, I was like, what? Okay, Ben Simmons. I mean, none of those are good fits, man. Oh my God, that's a horrible. Ben, Danny Green, Bagley, and Tristan Thompson. Yikes,
dude.
And we take on Sabonis, who's just going to be a terrible fit next to Embiid, I think. It's just it's so complicated no matter what you try to do.
Yeah. Could see Sabonis in Sacramento, though. Definitely.
Yeah, Sabonis is another player that, man, he just has to, he's just got to be on the right team with the right players around him. I don't think you can play Sabonis. I don't think it's smart to try that.
Yeah, I mean, they've been talking about Fox and Sabonis swapping. So, I mean, we could definitely link up in that kind of trade and move 2-5 and get the guys that apparently everybody wants. So, I mean, it'd be interesting, but
I love Sabonis, but I think it's finally time to try Joel Embiid with, higher level ball handling shooters and not a power forward under the rim.
Yeah, I agree. J Abs with the $2 donations. Let's bring Jimmy back to Philly. Yeah, that would never happen, unfortunately. I wish, but
we had the chance, man. You could have just fired Brett Brown on the spot. You could have said, Jimmy, you and Embiid on the same team is a dream pairing. We will do whatever you want right now. We'll fire Brett Brown this second. We'll trade Ben Simmons right now. We'll do whatever you want to stay here. But they didn't. They chose an inexperienced coach who was going nowhere and a bum basketball player that's not even playing now.
Yep. Duncan with the super chat says, we got Charlie Brown, trade him for Lucy or Linus.
Should we take another call?
One more? Do you want to do one more?
All right, one more.
I don't know if I can take it. Don't give me Danny Green and Harrison Barnes starting lineup.
What's going on? You're on the show.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, DJ Eastwood. I haven't heard from you in a minute. What happened? I thought you stopped doing YouTube or something, bro. I was scared.
No, I had a little bit of a copyright issue with the intro song, so that's why the new intro is no mother intros.
I heard you.
Yeah.
Hey, man, what's wrong with Danny Green, man? I don't get it, man. I thought he was a superstar or something. You don't need Danny Green no more, or how do you guys Do you guys feel like? In all honesty, though, do you guys feel that if this deal doesn't go through, that we're just screwed in the future, or how do you guys see this playing out in the end? Because, like you guys said, I don't think the Kings, I don't think they got anything that we can really use to really like advance our positioning. So I'm kind of scared for the team right now. Like Joel Embiid is averaging damn near 29 points, and I don't think, besides something happening with like a big playoff push, I don't think this team is going to win the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win in the finals, and I don't even think they're going to go past the second round. So how do you guys see this playing out? Because I've been listening to you guys this whole time, and I'm really starting to panic a little bit.
If it goes past the trade deadline, I think you're just throwing this season away, and then I think you can still make a deal in the offseason. I don't think we're screwed for the future. I think that's what Daryl Morey's scared to do, is to make the wrong trade and then not have that option in the offseason, which still gives me, anxiety that he's going to wait till the offseason. But you weren't being serious about Danny Green, were you?
No, I was fucking with y'all. No, hell no. I heard what was it? I heard that last boy talking about Danny Green, and then he was talking about Ben Simmons dunking on Joel Embiid. I was like, what the hell? I was confused a little bit on the end, but no, I was playing about the Danny Green thing. But so let's say Joel Embiid at this point, doesn't he get a little bit tired and frustrated? Because at this point, it's not fair to him. Like he's having a great season, and in all honesty, if he was on any other team right now, he would be a title favorite. But kind of doing this on a routine basis and not really having a big future in the end. Like, what? How long does he hold up with this until he kind of gets frustrated? Or do you guys just think that he's Sixers until the future at the end?
What do you think?
I think he's very much frustrated. I think he's a classy guy. And I don't think he's going to say much, but he's definitely pissed off. He's been throwing subliminals. But yeah, something's got to happen. If it doesn't, I think he's going to get really pissed off, honestly, because he's displaying greatness and he can't waste it.
Yeah, I think if it goes past the trade deadline, that this offseason would be the final straw for Joel Embiid. He'd be like, all right, listen, I just played at an MVP level again, and you guys still aren't giving me anything. Yeah.
So my last thing, about the trade, I don't think there's anything really wrong with De'Aaron Fox. I mean, I know people love Maxine, but I don't think he's at that point yet. I think De'Aaron Fox can give us something, to be honest. He's a 20-point average. Like, he averaged 20 points. And I know he's on the Kings, but I don't think Maxine is right now at that point where he's like a sustainable number two. I think if you get De'Aaron Fox, that's a bigger upgrade than Maxine. And he can still come off the bench as long as we don't have to give him up. I think that we can go for De'Aaron Fox. I don't think he's like the way I'm hearing people talk about him, it's like he's damn near like, I don't even know, like, people are acting like he's just a scrub or something like that. He's just averaging 20 on a bad team. I mean, technically he is, but I think he's a young player. He's only 24, 25, right? Like, I think he can be a little bit of an upgrade on Maxine. And for this season, I think that's going to be good enough because Brooklyn, they got their own little situation. Milwaukee's still not the same team that it was last year. I think this is probably the best year to, like, go for it if we are going to go for it and not just waste Joel Embiid's year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think De'Aaron Fox looked better last season than he does this season. I think this season he's totally over the Kings. And if you hear him talk about the Kings in some of his post-game interviews, he's just totally like, he's probably just ready to get traded and move on to a different team. So what he looks like right now might not be his, ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you boys go, man.
Thanks for the call, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the Sixers then moving Maxey back to the bench. I think that would hurt his confidence, and I just don't see it happening. It just wouldn't make much sense for me. But
yeah, I don't think Fox moves the needle enough for you to move Maxey to the bench. I don't think he's putting you over the hump. You can't picture De'Aaron Fox hitting big shots in the playoffs, can you? I mean, maybe you can. I don't know, but I don't think that. What we all need to continue to ask ourselves is, would Daryl Morey do that? And the answer is no.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him developing into a great player, but again, it's just an awkward fit with Maxey. Who knows? Maybe he could reroute him. I have no clue. Shout out to Vic with a $10 donation. Says, with Portland's defensive troubles and Blazers management desperate to keep Lillard, do you think Norman Powell could be a good fit with Philly and 2-5 with Portland? I don't think that deal would happen like that. Maybe CJ McCollum. But yeah, Norman Powell would be a good role player on this team.
Desperate to keep Lillard. Do you think Norman Powell would be a good fit with Philly? Ben just for Norman Powell?
Yeah, I would do that.
No, I wouldn't do that either. Yeah, if you're talking CJ and Norman Powell and maybe draft picks, like you got to again, we got to think about everything Daryl Morey's been asking for in return for Ben Simmons. But yeah, I think Norman Powell would be a good fit if he's part of a package.
Yeah, I think McCollum would be great next to Maxey. I really do.
Yeah, I love CJ McCollum. Yeah,
I think it'd be good. But and Powell could honestly play some of the 2 and 3 as well. So who knows? But
that's the thing, man. Yeah, Portland's someone we haven't talked about. They got to make some moves too, man. And you haven't heard anything from them, but they might do something like that closer to the trade deadline because
they're tricky, man.
And Dame said he would like to play with Ben Simmons, apparently.
Yeah, but who knows what Dame wants? He's going to be probably out the rest of the year. Like, Blazers are tricky, man. They really are.
It's true.
I hate it. But anyway, coming up on 2 hours. Shout out to everybody for being in here, man. We still got 450 in the chat. Hit that like wherever you're watching, man. Hit the subscribe. We're bringing you consistent Sixers coverage. Shout out to all the callers. We were playing around with some of you guys, but we're always having fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, when if you call the show and say something, we're gonna agree or disagree with it. If somebody gets, the dude got a little bit mad that we didn't agree with what he said, and then he wouldn't shut up, and then he was in the chat like, "You guys ain't shit for hanging up on me." You wanted to talk for 8 minutes, and you were saying the same thing over and over, and we weren't gonna agree with it. What do you want from us?
Hey, we all got our own opinions. We're playing some fun. At the end of the day, we got to hope a trade happens. This was a very interesting time, especially with what we heard. I'm definitely going to listen back to that again. I thought it was a great interview. And shout out to Seth with the $2 donation, says, should be a crime to not get Joel Embiid some help. I agree 100%. We can't wait, man. We got to make this happen at the deadline. And if we don't, oh, man.
I'm going to be very depressed if it doesn't happen.
I will be depressed. In fact, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think of something if we don't make a trade, because that would just be pretty much disrespecting this team. But trying to get this over with. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. DJ, thanks for coming on again. Well, both of us coming on and just let us know if you guys enjoyed this, man. I definitely enjoyed it. Definitely heard some things I did not expect to hear, but it was a good time, man.
Ben Simmons will never dunk on Joel Embiid.
No.
Yeah, man. This was cool. Thanks, everyone, for coming through, man.
Shout out to you guys. Have a great one. Catch y'all on the next one. Have a great night, everybody. Peace.